Ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch 2, a great console, very unique, and what's really cool as this generation goes on and on, we're going to start getting cooler and cooler accessories, a lot of these via way of third party. And in one department where you're really starting to see that already is very cool and unique Nintendo Switch 2 docks. I'm pretty sure a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago actually, I made a video about a dock that was like 30 bucks. And it was really cool. Then that same company sent me a really cool like charging thing that attaches to your Switch 2 that kind of fixes the Switch 2 battery. And now we have another product from them, and this is probably the coolest and most unique Nintendo Switch 2 dock just ever. I mean, this might even be the coolest Nintendo Switch 2 accessory by far. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So as you can see, we have our 6-in-1 magnetic stand and docking station. Yeah, that's essentially what this is. Here's a quick video of the back of the box. It tells you some of the specs and everything going into this, because at first glance, it might not look like much, but this thing can really hold its own. When I first opened the box, it started to look exactly like the box from that power bank for the Switch 2. So here is the actual stand, and you can see it has two USB-A 3.0 ports on the side, and the back is where it holds all the other ports. And not only does it have two charging ports, like one for the Switch 2 and one to power up the actual dock, but something I am very surprised to see is it actually has a LAN port. And that's not something you see so much in third-party docks. Like, I'm sure you'll see it sometimes, but for example, the last dock they sent me that was like 30 or 40 bucks, 20 bucks, I can't even remember anymore. Great dock, but it actually didn't have a LAN port, which it's not something I'm going to personally use, but it's nice to have that option there, and this one does have that. Now, one thing I noticed right away after picking this thing up is it has some weight to it, which is good. Once your Switch 2 is attached to this, you're not going to have to worry about your Switch 2 toppling over, breaking a Joy-Con, breaking the screen or whatever. It just feels like a high quality piece of tech. So the first thing you need to do is attach that little case that you've seen when we first opened the box to your Switch 2, and that's where it has a magnetic ring around it, and that magnetic ring is what's going to attach to the Switch 2 dock. Sorry the camera is so shaky right here, but I'm doing this by myself, so I have a camera in one hand and the Switch 2 in another, but you can see it attached immediately to the dock, and it looks good. Like, I just gotta keep it real here for a moment. I'm a sucker for tech, especially with things with the Switch 2, and I love the way this looks, and you can see it has a very strong hold. So there's no issues where your Switch 2 is going to fall off or anything like that. It just works the way it's designed to work, and that is freaking awesome. Now here's where I ran into my very first problems. They included instructions, and maybe I read them wrong, but no matter what I did, I would get power going to the Switch 2 dock, and then I would connect a cable from the dock to the Switch 2, so the Switch 2 is being powered as well. But every time I would connect the HDMI cord, nothing would happen. The Switch 2 screen would turn black, like it does when you dock it to anything else, but no image would pop up on a TV or a screen or whatever I was using. So I almost thought, well, this might be their first product that just doesn't work, or maybe I got a faulty unit or whatever. And like I said, I could have been reading the instructions wrong, but I don't think I was. But essentially what I had to do is there's a cord that will go into power the Switch 2 dock, and then a cord from the dock to the Switch 2. What I had to do was switch the two cords on the bottom, just reverse them, and then immediately it started to work. I think my camera was a little out of focus, and keep in mind the TV I have in my front room, the HDR is extremely messed up on it. I actually need to get a new TV in the front room. Just know everything looks good like how it's supposed to though, because the colors do look a little washed out here, but that's just the fault of my TV. But I was just curious to see how like the input lag was and how responsive everything was, because even if it docks to the TV but then there's like a small input lag, or you know, there's a delay, maybe it's not worth it. But I've been playing Breath of the Wild every day for like the past 2 weeks, for the 5th time. This is my 5th time playing the game, so I'm very familiar with it, and everything is responsive, everything is just perfectly fine. So yeah, the dock works 100%. And I actually like the way it looks on a TV stand. It looks like it just belongs there with every other tech product you have. Now, one of my favorite ways to test anything to do with the Switch 2 is with this RZOPA screen. At least that's how I think it's pronounced. They sent me this over for a review and I already made a video about it, so this isn't like a sponsored thing with them. This is me testing the dock on a smaller screen, and again, it just works perfectly. I just love this dock, you know what I mean? Like, it just looks like it can fit anywhere, and it does fit anywhere. But again, I was just testing, like, okay, the TV worked fine, but will another screen work fine? Was it only made for one kind of product? But yeah, it works perfectly on this screen. Now, something I really wanted to do is test it with Mario Kart World because, you know, the game is fast, there's things moving around nonstop, and I don't even know how this happened. Some way, somehow, Mario Kart World was deleted off of my Switch 2, and then when I went and looked in my virtual game cards or whatever the hell it's called to re-download a game, I could not find the game. It just was not existing. I'm actually watching the clip right here while I'm talking to you guys. It's nowhere to be found. It's actually mind-blowing to me. I truly could not find Mario Kart World, and I thought, did they delete it out of my library? Like, what the hell is going on? So I searched Mario Kart World on the eShop, and it said already purchased, and press re-download. Then it took me to the game key cards or virtual cards. Then I was able to re-download the game again. Kind of a nightmare. Not even kind of relevant to this video, but I wanted to test Mario Kart World with this, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Since I did not have Mario Kart World downloaded, and I was downloading it while I was doing all this, all I could do is do the next best thing, and that was Mario Kart World on the Nintendo 64 app. You know, I just wanted to be able to test some kind of racing game with it. And I know it's not the most recent racing game with all these effects or whatever, but it's still a racing game, right? So yeah, we're going to test it with Mario Kart Nintendo 64 version. And I gotta say, I know it's a lot of nostalgia, but I will always love Mario Kart 64. I have so many memories of playing just with friends, family, just people I don't even remember. 4 players, 1 screen. It felt like a real event every time you played Mario Kart. And obviously, you know, you can play online and things like that now, and you can play with people, but you had to be there in like the year 2099, stuff like that, man. It was so fun. So I don't think Mario Kart 64 is one of the best at all, but it's one of my favorite. And yeah, you can see I started a little slow here because I was messing around with something, but I did actually get second place, even though I was like a lap behind everybody. Man, Mario Kart is so fun. Just a timeless franchise, really. But you can see the dock is working perfectly fine. Like I said, yes, I would like to test it with a newer racing game, but this is what I had on hand, and there's no delays, there's no lag input, there's none of that stuff. So if you were curious, would this hold up with a Nintendo Switch 2 dock? Well, I'm here to tell you that it actually would. Now what I want to do is show you this compared to the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, obviously this dock here, and that first dock they sent me, which was like 30 or 40 bucks or whatever. So here's a quick video of that very first dock. I really like it because it's small and you can take this to travel, but as you can see, it does not have that LAN port. Now here's the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, which you know, if you bought a Switch 2, you have one of these things. I think a replacement is very expensive, about $100. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I'm just saying $100, man, it's, you know, it's hard to shell out $100 for something like this. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock is great for what it is, but it is very expensive. Now here is all 3 docks side by side, and you can see that this one actually feels, or at least looks, very high quality in person. When you have it in hand, it feels very high quality as well, but it can really hold its own against the other ones, and it really stands out because it's just so unique. Now the most important part is how expensive is this, because if it's more expensive than the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, well, probably just get that one. But if it's cheaper, I think this is a pretty cool option. And it is. Right now on their website, it is $71.99, but there will be a link and a code in the description of this video, and you can save an additional 10%, or you can also buy it on Amazon. Both of those links will be down below. And yeah, this is their 3rd product they have sent me, and 3 out of 3, they keep hitting them right out of the park. And I really like these. So if you're interested in it or you need something new, I would just say weigh this out as an option because it's a great option. But as always, in the comments below, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm sure you guys have bought some other third-party docks as well already. So yeah, in the comments below, just talk about them. And you guys know me, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.